How's everybody doing? Let's be patriotic as the Patriots begin the 2023 season. This is the point I'm making. We should always be patriotic in general, I think. It's a great place to live. But I'd like to see the New England Patriots revert to being a team that they used to be. Check this out. Since 2020, the Patriots are 3-13 against teams that wound up in the playoffs. They're 9-15 after December 1st. I saw a game last year, a Patriots game, where they allowed a game-tying touchdown with 30 seconds left and then had their best player throw the ball over his head backwards to one of their other best players who tried to throw it back to their first-round pick quarterback who got stiff-armed into the Earth's core, and the Patriots lost that game. Last year, they stunk in the red zone. They weren't good on third down. They gave up 2 kickoff return touchdowns in the season finale. They had a defensive coordinator as their offensive coordinator. I think we all have a simple request at the dawn of this year. Can we maybe get back to the 20-year tradition of smarter, tougher, and more disciplined? 2023 doesn't have to end with a parade, but don't be an object of ridicule. There was a New York Times bestseller on the Patriots that was entitled, "It's Better to Be Feared." Well, nobody's afraid of the Patriots. Nobody worries about them. It's an admittedly low bar to set, but if the Patriots can clear that and make people a little bit worried, I swear to the Lord above, I see a 10-win team. Can I get an amen? Nothing yet. Game plan, ladies and gentlemen. How's this for openers? We're going to go into this Eagles game. The backup plan. What are they doing back there? Senatorial briefing? Yeah, we got Phil, and we have Mike Gesicki for irrelevant questions. But before we get to all that, let's bring in the senator for some input. How are you, Phil? Thank you for being here.
Of course, I'm thrilled to be here, but I can't give you that full-throated amen. I just can't, because you're talking about 10 wins just by eliminating penalties and being smart. You still need talent, Tom. You know that. I think that's one of the biggest questions about this year's team. Do they have enough talent? Even if they get everything cleaned up, I'm not sure they're a double-digit win kind of team.
Hope springs eternal. All right, time now for Quickfire. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Are we having a good time so far? Yes, indeedy doody. I got to my spot. Here I am. Hi.
Athlete.
All right. First up, charges have been dropped against Jack Jones, Patriots cornerback. All charges dropped. I just spoke to Greg Henning, former Suffolk County prosecutor for 11 years. He was familiar with gun charges. Going to talk to him a little bit further. Phil basically said that guns in the airport are a lot harder to prosecute than guns on the street, and that basically if you have a plausible explanation that you didn't know that you had the guns, well then you're probably going to get off, and nobody in their right mind shows up at the airport with guns. That's why this was going to be so tough.
That's the thing. Who has a plausible explanation for having guns at the airport? It's built into where you were found with the guns. There's no way this guy could be that crazy to bring guns to an airport, right? Right. Okay. Guess we got to drop the charges. That's sort of how it sounds to me. And I've spoken to defense attorneys over the course of the last few months, really ever since this story broke, and they will harp to you. This is more art than science. The laws can say whatever they say on the books, but if you can bring forward the right pieces of information, then this thing can go away pretty quickly. I think it was key, Tom. They found out he did legally purchase the guns, apparently, in Arizona. So they were his guns. Mm-hmm. The Commonwealth just couldn't prove that he knowingly had them at an airport. Bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, as Mr. Henning said, the strength of the government's case was actually the strength of the defense. Nobody shows up knowingly in 2023 with guns. Meanwhile, let's move to the football. Here's Matt Light talking about the Patriots opener recently.
After week 1, we're going to know where the problems are. If you started out with a weaker opponent, you may take a victory and say, oh, it's great, but we really didn't get tested. After this week 1, you're going to know where the issues lie.
Where are they going to lie? Tough opener is the topic right now.
Talk about patriotic. How about Matt Light saying, oh, it's actually a good thing if a team shows the rest of the world where you stink. To me, that's not great off the top of your season if you face a really good team across the board like Philly, and all of a sudden every other team on your schedule knows where to poke holes. I understand self-scouting, the whole bit. It's important. Maybe you can get things fixed. But, Tom, I don't know if there's a good way to spin this Eagles Week 1 matchup.
Well, he tried.
He did.
It's incredible.
Again, Patriot.
Right. Meanwhile, Bill O'Brien, what's he got up his sleeve for the opener? Let's listen to him real quick.
We're going to have to be very detailed in our approach. And I think it starts on the practice field. I think having good practices, we're strong believers in, whatever's done on the practice field carries over to the game. And so hopefully we can string together some really good practices and be ready to go on Sunday.
Smells like a detail-oriented coach. I love it. Phil, you screen, I screen, we all screen for the screen game. I think that's what they're going to have.
Screens, more screens. How about draws, Tom? How about a little jet motion for you? Put that in your pot, stir it around, see what comes out. This is going to be quick game related. You're going to see some RPOs, Tom. You have to get the football out of Mac Jones's hands. Bill O'Brien will have a variety of ways to do that.
All right, Matt Corral brought in last week, signed to the 53. Here's what the prospective backup with the headband, Bjorn Borg, like 38
What a reference.
This is all just preseason the last 2 years. He has yet to play in a regular season game. Okay, Corral. What do the Patriots have planned? Could he conceivably be the one heartbeat away from, or turned ankle away from being in the game over Bailey Zappi, who's been playing here?
I doubt it. I don't know how you feel about it. I feel like Bailey Zappi will probably be in uniform. The one thing Matt Corral could give you, Tom, is a little bit of athleticism, though. Run around a little bit when things break down, even if he's not completely up on the offense. And he doesn't have to be totally up on everything when it comes to this Patriots offense. I think people confuse this. When you get it to the regular season, the playbook goes from this thick to this thick week to week. So he'll just have to pick up on this week's game plan. It's just a question of how much he can actually do. And I'm stunned you didn't go Jim McMahon reference there.
Oh.
Bjorn Borg. I mean, I get it, but tennis.
That's a good point by you. All right, meanwhile, there is a guy who's coming back this weekend. He ain't playing, but he would be the best player on the field, in my opinion, if he was. It's Tom Brady. Let's listen to him.
I had 2 decades of incredible, life-changing, altering experiences. I have so many memories from my time there and memories with people there. And I'm creating a new memory with people there. And to go back to that stadium and bring my kids and my family in a different way. I've not been to that stadium in this way ever. I went there as a player. I went there once as a competitor. And now I'm going to go there as really a fan.
I'm going to kick this around a little bit in the second portion of this program, but is this going to be a motivation or a pressure builder for the Patriots?
I think it could be a pressure builder. I mean, what do you think the fans' reaction is going to be, Tom, if the offense doesn't look all that hot to start and the passing game just isn't there because they can't protect and there's forced throws? I mean, you tell me. You know that crowd as well as anybody. How's that crowd going to react with Tom Brady up in the owner's box?
Let's bleep and go!
I thought for sure you're going to go Brady.
Oh, they will. They will. I mean, if they're going to chant for Bailey Zappi during a Monday night game when things go a little bit sideways on Mac, they 1,000,000% will chant for Brady after 1 3-and-out. Meanwhile, quarterback competition. Ha! Here's Bill Belichick talking about, Mac.
Mac's had a good offseason. Has had a really good camp. Comes to work every day, comes in early, stays late, works hard, understands the offense, how it works, how to get his teammates involved, how to help them be productive.
I think, Phil, the smoking gun on this is that Bill did not say nobody works harder than Mac, so clearly he's still not sold on the guy.
Well, he's reserved that phrase for Bill Murray and Bill Murray alone for years 2021, 22, and 23. So I think you'll have to retire that one until maybe next year. Now, Tom, Mac won the summer, didn't he? This was 100%. His summer. He won the job. I think he won over a lot of his teammates that were wondering, okay, what kind of leader can this guy be? And it sounds like, at least, he won over his head coach.
And despite all the attention given to whether or not Bill would anoint him verbally, there was never a competition, folks, like we told you. All right, from the stands, ladies and gentlemen, today's poll results are presented by Shaw's. They're perfecting the art of fresh. Check it out, yo. Your expectations for the Patriots result against the Eagles shocked the world. Easy W, 5.8. Nobody buying that. Rock fight, Pats edge him. He's got some buyers. Noble try, Patriots succumb. 48%. Patriots gonna get demolished. First up, my buddy Curran says, would love to eke out a W. Stadium needs to stay electric. Hopefully all three phases stay in sync. Next up, SBG, man. Always love it when everyone thinks we suck. Tends to be when Bill gets the most out of his guys. Used to be the case. Yes, SBG. Uncle Jim, if you start with low expectations, it'll be easier to meet or exceed those. Put that on my gravestone. Chris Tango, I like this one. Patriots can't block and can't defend mobile quarterbacks. The Eagles might be the worst matchup in the NFL for them. Joe Doak. As long as they don't embarrass themselves, I'm just very happy the games are back. God bless Joe, huh? That's what we're looking for. Just boundless optimism.
Little positivity is good for everyone, but I agree. This is not a great matchup, especially when you look at how the Patriots have defended mobile quarterbacks. Remember last year, Tom, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson absolutely ran wild on what was a good Patriots defense. They just have so many different things they can throw at you on that side of the ball. Literally, it makes it hard to defend.
Oh, my God. I just had a vision. Moral Victory Monday coming up next week. All right, here we go.
I thought we lost you there for a second.
We'll talk Tom Brady's return and what he's walking back into. Don't move. Tom Brady. Here's where he finished in the NFL's top 100. Drink that in. Drink it. Okay, you done? All right, here we go. Time for my slant. Watch out! Tom Brady returns Sunday, and if I were Tom Brady, and I am not, you know what I'd be thinking as I arrive back at my childhood NFL home? Holy crap. They really let this place go to hell. You have to imagine that Brady's going to have some pangs of saying, man, somebody else lives here. And they'll never have anything close to the fun that we did. Look, it was time to go, but God, I miss it. And I'd go back to all this in one friggin' second. Hey, so would we, buddy. So would we. Is this the right time for Tom Brady to come back? I don't think so. I think if you ask Bill Belichick, who has now programmed himself to genuflect anytime he mentions Tom, he'd say it's not ideal to be reminded of what was and have the fans frothing for the last decade. The time to say goodbye to Tom is not the night you're saying hello to 2023 and a very good opponent. In my opinion, Phil. Just my opinion.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Don't you think Commanders mid-season at home might have been a better time for this whole ordeal? Not the opener against the Super Bowl runners-up, Tom. One of the toughest matchups in the league. Not what you're looking for.
No, you want to be ducking the attention on a day like that. All right, let's bring in Roberto Snyder. Rob Snyder, can you QB us here?
I can. We're going to do some over-unders. These are not from a sports book. They're from right here. So don't be afraid to, be wrong, because no one's going to grab these. First one, Ezekiel Elliott carries week 1, 7.5, Phil.
I'm going over. I like the Damian Harris plus role for Ezekiel Elliott in 2023. Harris averaged, when healthy, when available, he averaged almost 12 touches per game last year, Tom. I think Ezekiel Elliott is in line for all that work and maybe even a little bit more.
100%. Jumping on that train too, as well. Yep. Go to the next one. I know that we're tight here.
Wow, more Zeke. Okay. Next one, over under. Mac completions, 21.5, Tom.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to say under the total. I think the Patriots are going to try and convert. I think the game will stay close enough because they will play decent defense to at least extend the game. So I'm looking at 18 for 31.
Boy, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a big problem if they are under that 21 number. I've got him down for 6 screen completions alone buckets. Maybe add 4 or 5 RPOs on top of that. We're already halfway there. He's going over 21.
All right, split on that one. So I guess you'll be split on this one. Mac passing yards over under 235.5.
I think you have to be over if you hope to win this game. Now, will he actually get there? I don't know. But, Tom, I do think there are some weak links in the chain of the Eagles defense. We know that front is fantastic, but at the linebacker and safety levels, a lot of questions. Resident Eagles fan Rob Snyder will tell you, Tom, a lot of questions at the second and third levels. I think they could make some hay in the middle of the field. I do.
Roberto, I look at this Eagles team, too. If the Patriots are screen happy and draw happy, eventually they're going to press it down the field. They wanted to do that last year. I don't think they're going to wholly abandon the idea that they want to use Devontae Parker down the field here and there, or Kendrick Bourne, or somebody getting downfield who's unattended to. So, yeah, I'm going to go over as well.
Guys are kind of blowing my cover here. Next one, over under Patriots points, and this is for the game, 20.5, Tom, 20.5. Loss.
Under, down, under.
Bad news.
Under.
That's not great for their chances on Sunday. I'm going to go over, but I do have them taking the L here. It's just the offensive line. You get too many questions on the offensive line. That the run game, is it going to be there the way it needs to be to open up the passing game in order to score those points? So I think they'll have more than 20, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I can't remember what the stat was that we had last year, the number of games in which the Patriots scored 2 or more touchdowns. I think they did it against Baltimore, and I don't know if they did it again for the rest of the year. They have multiple games with 0 or 1 touchdown. Look,
it's a different year. What happened to the optimism, the positivity you were espousing?
This is not it's just going to be fine-tuning the magic wand, O'Brien is. It's not going to be primed yet.
It's not a new wand.
No. What happens next?
Incredible. Over under Juju Smith-Schuster catches 4.5. Tom.
Up top, bury the over on that one. I think Juju's going to be featured plenty, and I think that anybody who contends that he's got exploding knees, it's got another thing coming. Yeah, Juju's going to have a big one.
Well, I don't think those knees will explode in week 1. I think he'll be available, and he will benefit from this quick passing game. Again, you can't be holding on to the ball for more than 2.5 seconds against this pass rush, in my humble opinion. So what's that mean? It means getting it out as soon as humanly possible. RPOs, that's something that Juju Smith-Schuster would benefit from. Option routes, quick off the line of scrimmage. He's not the quickest guy in the world, but he's the kind of receiver, he's big enough, even if he's well covered, you might trust him if you feel like he has the proper leverage. So I'm going over here as well.
All right, hit us with one last one, because we have fill in the blank in the C block that I want to get to, and we have Mike Gesicki. What do we got?
All right, last one. A.J. Brown over under 75.5. Go, Phil.
I'm going over here. Very difficult matchup for Christian Gonzalez week 1. First game of his pro career, right, Tom?
Yeah, I like that as well. Over. We should have done Jalen Hurts rushing yards, too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Irrelevant Questions, and this is Mike Gesicki. He's a tight end, but he's kind of a hybrid wide receiver. Do you ever call yourself the hybrid?
No, never once have I done that. No.
Is there any chance that we can get that going?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's different pay grades between the two positions. So I'm trying not to teeter off. And trying to pick one. So I'll just do whatever I'm told to do.
All right, fair enough. What was the best catch you ever made? I don't care if it was Pop Warner. I don't care if it was baseball. I don't care if it was Miami. I don't care if it was training camp. Best catch you ever made?
I think for me, I caught a crossing route against Buffalo back when I was in Miami in 2020, and ball was a little behind me, and I stuck my arm back, and I always joke when I catch the ball with one hand, I just close my eyes and just hope it sticks, and it did. When you make those, especially on Sundays, those are exciting.
All right, you're from New Jersey. It's a lacrosse hotbed. It's a baseball hotbed. It's got some hockey. It's obviously got some football. What was your favorite sport as a kid?
I mean, basketball was definitely always my favorite sport. Grew up a Nets fan, Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, those guys. So that was my number one.
Glenn, should I tell him? I'm a slasher. I remain fairly dominant at 55.
There you go.
And I can break your ankles if I have to.
I mean, listen, I'm not even accepting that challenge. I haven't played basketball in a long time, but listen, I'm not accepting that challenge.
See?
Yeah.
That's another W before we even get on the court for me. How old were you when you first dunked?
I was in 8th grade.
No.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I know. Yeah, I was blessed with being 6'4" in 8th grade, so that definitely helped.
6'4" in 8th grade?
Probably, yeah, somewhere. Maybe I was like 6'2"-ish. Yeah, 6'2". Yeah.
This is my favorite portion of the program. This is called, hey, what's your number? Your number here is 88. Is that the number that you would prefer? And if not, why not?
Yes, that is absolutely the number I would prefer. I wore it all of college. Got drafted in 2018. The number was taken, so I had to wear 86. Once the year was over, the guy that was wearing 88 stopped. I hopped right back on the train. I've been in 88 for the last 5 years. So
you get double infinities. Yeah. That's tremendous. Yeah. What's your favorite part about Boston?
Probably just the weather in the summer. I'm coming from South Florida. It's a little hot down there this time of year. So training camp this year was incredible because weather was in the 70s. So it's not too bad.
You know what they say about New England weather?
What's that?
If you don't like it, just wait a minute.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That's what they pay me so much for.
Nah.
donkey. What a donkey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had a new little segment today. It's called Fill in the Blank. Put it out on Twitter. I said one thing that's going to stun you about the 2023 Patriots is, welcome back, Rob Snyder. Read them results.
So we got Pat's Chatter, who is a friend of the program, said they will end up with a top 10 pick in the draft, which sounds good next offseason, but not for this year. We got another one, how they deemed it was wise to go into a season with a rookie punter and kicker. The kicking situation will result in at least one missed kick as time expires for a loss. Yikes. Come on. Here we go. How good Trent Brown is at left tackle. Tom, I have a developing opinion that the offensive line is not going to be as bad as it looks.
No, it can't be as bad as everyone thinks. You know why? Because everyone thinks it's basically 5 traffic cones out there. They're going to be fine. Do you know one thing that's going to stun, in my opinion? That the Patriots are going to get rolled over a few times defensively. I think that they're not paper tigers, but they're not the dominant defense people think. Did you say you had one more?
I do. A positive one. Karate's Bad Boy says they will win the AFC East.
Karate's Bad Boy? Nice job. Thanks, Karate. Buckets. He's going to be on next Pat's podcast with Phil giving his intel on the Eagles. Stay tuned. Early edition up next.